So I just came back from seeing The Little Mermaid, and something that I'm not hearing people talk about that stood out so much to me was the relationship between Ariel and her dad, and how much and how that story is so, I feel like, reflected in the lives of so many of us, in the film, spoiler alert, but Ariel is so obsessed with humans and so obsessed with going up to the surface and meeting these human people that she's been collecting all of these collectibles from, the sunken ships, right? So trinkets and all these little human figurines and things like that. And after she gets into some trouble, her dad comes into her room and finds all of her whole human shrine in her room, and literally blasts everything to smithereens, and is like, you are not to go up there and see these humans. You are not to, ever engage with them. It's dangerous. Like, stop this obsession, stop this interest that you have, and completely just literally annihilated her bedroom, and that was so deeply, deeply painful and disruptive to this father-daughter relationship. And I feel like so many people, like me, myself personally, like I can relate. Like, you have this loving father figure, and you have this close, intimate relationship. Yet sometimes, like, out of their own fear, when it comes to disciplining you, it will become the most random, obscene outburst of anger and passion and fury that entirely disrupts the trust in the father-daughter dynamic. And like, when there's no accountability, there's no apology, there's no rehabilitation to the disruption to the intimacy and the safety that is created there, it is so deeply painful in the hearts of so many children, like fathers, in the hearts of so many children, daughters and sons alike. And so, it goes along in the movie, and Ursula finally like brings her in and is like, yeah, like I can promise you all these things in the human world. And it's giving bad situation, like it's not giving good idea, it's giving evil. And Ariel can sense that. And so she, was like, actually, no, I don't want to do this. Like, start swimming away. And that's when Ursula is like, yeah, like, fine, go back to your house, go back to your dad, go back to your room, your little life. And she doesn't have a room anymore. This is right off the heels of this huge, painful, altercation that she had with her dad. And the fact that she has no bedroom, her father has completely disrupted that trust. Ariel doesn't feel like she has anything to go back to. And thus, signs this deal with the devil. And I just remember in times of my childhood when my parental relationship was disrupted like that. And, we talk consistently about, fathers that are absent and don't show up, but there's something to be said for the parents that are physically absent, that are physically present. There's something to be said for the fathers that are physically present, but emotionally immature or emotionally unavailable, and the detriment that does to the relationship between the father and the daughter. Like the sense of safety and peace and intimacy and truth is entirely disrupted when the father has these emotional, eruptions that completely, change the trajectory and like the truth held between in that sacred parent-child dynamic. And I've been wounded in those ways, and I haven't really understood how to process it. Like Ariel straight up moves away. You know what I mean? Like, Ariel straight up moves away, like goes underground. Ariel straight up leaves her entire family and becomes a human being, never to return back to that safety, to that family dynamic that she knew for her whole life, you know? And I can't help but underscore and emphasize how it is the violation of that parent-child trusting dynamic that made Ariel strike out on her own. And while it's a beautiful story, and you know, this quest, this journey for something more, I can't help but wonder what, you know, the effects of like that parenting does to their relationship, and what it would be like if, you know, King Triton was practicing gentle parenting and actually talking to Ariel about, you know, his deep sadness and his deep grief over their mother passing through these people, and being open to hearing Ariel's perspectives on, you know, these aren't all humans and what her experiences have been like, you know. There's something to be said for reconciliation, for the parent being able to have the emotional maturity to show up in love and in tough conversations with, you know, your young adolescent, young adult children, because that means so much for the relationship. You know, parents disregard, you know, that intimacy and that trust, and then wonder 10 years later why their kids don't call, why their kids don't visit. You know, there's really something to be said for the effects of emotional unavailability and emotional immaturity on the relationship between a father and daughter, and a daughter's relationship to her own sense of self-concept and what she's worth and how she is valuable, you know. Is there anybody else out there? That's just something I've been thinking about. Let me know down below if you notice this in The Little Mermaid, and what it has been like for you, if you have experienced what it is to have emotionally unavailable parents. Shoot, let me know if you've experienced emotionally available parents, because that's a true gift and a true privilege in this world, you know. I'm Serena.